Hello, Radius family. I'm Danielle. You might recognize my voice from the training videos or from maybe a phone call we've done together, but welcome to my virtual home office. So, we figured with everything that's going on, it might be helpful to really consider how radiusbob can help you create your virtual office because we're cloud-based. You can take us anywhere. So we're going to focus on one aspect of Radius per day that's relevant to your virtual office. And we're going to do this for the next 5 days and see where this goes. We're flying by the seat of our pants too. So here we go. Today's deep dive is going to be in the dialer capabilities within Radius. Now, you might already know all of this, but let's just go through. We've got so many features for you. We're going to focus on how to do each feature, and then we're going to also talk about the options that you have. So when I reference the basic plan versus the full VIOP plan, both of them are technically voice over internet protocols. So it's technically all VIOP, but the basic plan has more limited functionality than the full VIOP. The basic plan has outbound dialing, click to call, caller ID, area code recognition, call recording, call queues, so much functionality. And the full VIOP has all of that, plus inbound dialing, voicemail drop, voicemail to email, and a progressive dialer to roll those calls faster, and much more. So when I'm talking about the basic plan, just be aware that I'm talking about that limited functionality plan option. And when I'm talking about the VIOP plan, I'm talking about the full VIOP option.
All right, so let's talk about the requirements for having the dialer. The first thing is an active Radius account. The dialer is not available during the trial period. I assume that you all have already signed up for the trial or you're an active user, but if not, just go to radiusbob and go to the pricing page. And here you can pick the plan that's right for you to sign up for a trial of. On the first page, it's the basic plan, and you can click Start Free Trial. Or you can go to the Leads, Clients, and VIOP plan for the full VIOP pricing. If you need to activate your account, go to Account, Billing Information, and enter your card here and update the billing. That will activate your plan. If you need to upgrade to a different dialer, go to Account, Upgrade Account, and you can switch plans here. Your current plan is flagged, and then you can change the plan. The second thing you need is high-speed internet with a minimum of 40 kilobytes per second. So if you don't know what kind of rate you have on your plan currently, just search for your provider. I have Spectrum, and then type in the word speed test. Click on that, and you can run your speed test. So I'm going to hit go. And if it's above 40, I'm fine. So it looks like I am good. If you have any problems with the speed of your internet, you might need to upgrade to a higher speed internet for the dialer to function stably. So do check your speed test of your provider. Also test our phone provider, Twilio. So check for their speed test. Go to Twilio Network Test and run the diagnostics. Okay, the third thing is you need a desktop or a laptop. Now, let's dive into this dialer. First thing you'll do is set up your dialer. Go to Settings. Go to Phone Dialer and Call Queues and click Edit. On this first tab, you see that we've got the click to call activated and call recording activated. let's skip the caller ID and the call cues for the moment. I want to jump over to voicemail greetings. Now, obviously, this is only for the VIOP plans, I should say. So what you can do if you've got a VIOP is you can create welcome greetings or recordings that are specific to the call queue that you want to call in on. So you might have something for the first attempt calls like I have here, or for a general voicemail greeting. So what I'll do is I will call this number to record it. And then do you see here, I've got this prompt for my own specific code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this phone number. I'll hit dial a number and hit OK. I'm going to hit this keypad because it's going to ask me for that prompt.
Thank you for calling Radius voicemail recording service. Please enter your code followed by the pound key.
4547 16671.
Please leave a message at the beep. Press the pound key or hang up. Please leave a message at the beep.
Hi, thanks for calling radiusbob. Please leave a message at the tone.
Thank you. Your recording will be available in your account shortly.
Great. So we've done that.
Your
Now you can
recording will be
continue
available in
recording
your
those
account
messages
shortly.
that are more specific to the call queues. This one I recorded earlier is for one about following up on an appointment. So let's edit that one since it's already done for us. And I'm going to say appointment follow up. I'm going to include it in the voicemail drop list because I will want to see this one when I am in my call queues. And I want everybody to have access to that. Or since it's my own voice, maybe I only want myself to have that as an option for me. So you've got options there. So I'll keep it as save for all right now. And then let's see, this is the message we just recorded. So I'm going to edit that and I'm going to say general greeting voicemail. And this is for everybody. And I don't want to see it in the voicemail drop list because it's just a greeting. So that we don't need. So save information. Great. Now we've got the voicemail greetings. Now we can go to phone numbers. Again, this is only for the VIOP plan because this is for inbound phone numbers. So what I'll do is I'll search for a local presence number. Local presence numbers are $2 per month per line, and toll-free is $3 per month per line. Radius counts 1 inbound toll-free minute as a 3 local minutes. So just make sure that you're aware of that calculation. All of our minutes are calculated based off of connected seconds. So you actually are, if you spend maybe 30 seconds on one call and then 15 seconds on another, that's a total of 45 seconds. And it's connected only, so it doesn't count for ring time. And when you do voicemail drop, that also doesn't count against your time as well. It just drops it in and hangs up the call for you. So even if the message you leave is like 30 seconds, it's not going to count that 30 seconds for you. Okay, so I'm going to search by available phone numbers. Find the phone number. I'll purchase the one that I want. And that's an East Coast number. So what I'll do is I'll just click on this little options, edit. And then I can assign it to all users or to a specific user. I'll leave it as all users. I'll select my welcome greeting. So that general voicemail greeting is what I'm going to assign it as. Actually, wait, no, sorry. The welcome message is this call may be recorded. So that could be if you wanted to have a welcome message of this call may be recorded for quality assurance or something like that. That's what you would put there. Okay, now we choose the voicemail message and we're going to, for this one, do the welcome greeting or whatever the voicemail is. Voicemail notification. This is really helpful. So that way, if you're on the road, going to one of the very few places you can go to nowadays, you could type in your email address to get notified via email. And if there are multiple people, you can also just separate them with a comma. So that way everybody gets that voice message as it goes through. Now, if this was something where it was only assigned to one user, you could have call forwarding turned on as well. So this would be if you mark yourself as out of the office, this call can be forwarded to a phone number. But if you have it assigned to everybody, that wouldn't be fair if you forwarded all the calls to yourself. Therefore, it's only for the phone numbers that are only for one person. So that's that explanation, but you can type in, say, your cell phone number or another number that is an optional choice. You can also send all SMS using one of the purchase phone numbers. So that way that SMS is specific to your phone number rather than having it be the general Radius phone number. Okay, so we'll save this information. And now if I go to the caller ID, I'll see that 201 number there. And you can see that I've got some area code recognition already. So I've got my active caller ID, which is my 323 phone number here. But I've got this East Coast number. So anytime I call 201, 212, 914, or 917, this is the default number that gets utilized. I'm going to update that since I've purchased a 201 number and I only want that to be utilized then. So I'm going to remove that 201. Leave the others, and I will update this 201 so that way anytime I call 201, and most likely you're going to put in other area codes, you just separate them again by a comma, then you're going to be able to have that number be what defaults in the system. So anytime you call it 201, 201 is called. Anytime you call it 212, 914, or 917, this 914 number is going to be what's dialing from. And then if you call from any other phone number, this 323, if you call to any other phone number, this 323 area code is going to be what displays. So it's already verified as a phone number because it is it's a phone number that was utilized by the purchased phone numbers. But if you have another phone number that is just a caller ID and is not an inbound phone number, you'll have to verify that by accepting a phone call and entering in that information. So say I've got this 702-919-6298, which is our office number. I can say office, maybe main office, and then you can put in the area codes if you want. You would then click verify phone number. You would have to pick up that phone call and then type in the code that you would see in this verified column to verify that phone number as a caller ID. So that's for the basic plan and for the VIOP plan. This is again covered in depth in the setup tutorial for the dialer, but I just wanted to flag that to you. So that's another big setup step. All right, so now let's get into the more fun part where we have these call queues. And you'll see that I've built out a ton of different call queues. You have one when you get into Radius, it's like hot lead or something, but I like to have it as first attempt, second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt, and so on. And so I've got an appointment follow-up, a quote follow-up, all these great things. So if I wanted to add in another, say I wanted to have appointment follow-up number 2, all I need to do is type that into the description. And the sort order would be somewhere below the appointment follow-up, so I'll label that 7. And is this call queue visible to all users or only specific users? So I'll leave it to all users and add call queue. Now that's in there. So when I go to the call queues section, it is now in my list. So I've got appointment follow-up and appointment follow-up number 2. I'll show you how to use this very shortly, but let me just go through the remaining settings. We'll go back into settings, edit. Okay, so we've gone through the click to call, caller ID, call queues, phone numbers, greetings. Let's just look briefly at ring groups. Now, this is something where if it was a team of people working, so if you've got like your sales team, you could have that sales team edit, and then you would say who was part of that team. And so that way you would say that person is, and this person is. So they're all part of that dialing. So if a call comes through, these are the two people who would receive that call. And then maybe you've got a client maintenance team. And so we'd click edit. And again, we would decide who is on that team. So that way when we go to the IVR, we can create a menu. So main menu. We would select a greeting. So probably we're going to have that general voicemail greeting. And then we'll click edit. And then we can add those extensions. So extension 1 goes to the client maintenance team. And then again, you can have a more specific voicemail greeting if they don't pick up. So welcome greeting, add extension. And then extension 2 can go to, I have a lot of examples in here. Sorry, guys. Maybe that goes to a specific person. So this is going to a user. And so maybe they've got a specific voicemail greeting in here. So for triangle, they'll have a specific voicemail greeting that is in their voice. And then we would hit, so let's just do that, add extension. And so now those extensions are set up based off of that, either the ring group or the specific person. Handsets. If you have an SIP phone, you can actually sync it up using this information here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. But that's the basic setup of the phone dialer. So if you have any questions, go to the help app and then search for what you need. So in this find answers for yourself, just say caller ID, and you can scroll down and click on setting caller ID or purchasing inbound phone numbers, etc. If you then have any further questions, just click start a new conversation. Send a message to us and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, now let's go in and see how we can utilize this to make your business run more smoothly. If I look at my call queues, I have it very well organized for the kinds of calls that I would go through. If I'm on the main plan, what I would do is I would click into this first person's name, and then I would click on the phone number and launch that call. If I hover over the phone number, you'll also notice that the time zone pops up. So as I'm going through this, I can click on this number, it'll launch the phone call, and then I will change their status in information so that way they get into the next status disposition that they're supposed to be in. So let's say I left a message for her, I would just say second attempt needed, and I would save that update. Once I get into the automated workflows, this will make even more sense to you as to why this is so helpful to have it in this order. But I just want to show you a little bit about how the call queues work first. So if I go back here, you'll notice that I've got this launch dial queue. So on the VIOP plan, you'll actually have what we call a progressive dialer. So if I click on this, it will run through this call queue. The other thing it will do is it will pull up all of the voicemail greetings that I have accessible during this voicemail drop section. And so I can say, okay, if I get her voicemail, I'm going to drop in this pre-recorded message. So I'll hit launch dial queue. And here's that voicemail option.
Hi, you've reached Radius. Please
Please leave a message with your name, phone number, and what you're calling in regard to, and one of our team members will get back to you in the order your message is received. To reach all of us at the same time, you've reached Radius. Please leave a message with your name, phone number, and what you're calling in regard to, and one of our team members will get back to you in the order your message is received. So, as I just showed, you can say the person's name and then drop in the rest of the message if it's the same person on the recording as it is in real life. So that way it can customize it a little bit more. Because a lot of people will get calls and think that they're a scam because it doesn't have their name or it doesn't have a live person there. So just FYI, and already because I have that voicemail to email, my email just popped up that I have a voice message from that phone number. So that's what this little message up here is showing me. And then I could listen to the message. If I click on this, I can play this message. Hi, Julia. Hi, this is Danielle from radiusbob. Yeah, so that was that message. So obviously you would want to plan for if you're going to say the person's name or if you're not going to say it. So that way the message is very clear and Hi, it Julia. Feels like a real person calling you. Hi, this is Danielle from radiusbob. Okay, so then if I wanted to, I think I've already changed her status. So she's a second attempt needed person already. And now I would just hit call the next person. And that was a fake number, I guess. So anyway, this is how you would do that. And then it says it's at the end of the call queue. So what I would do is go on to the next one. And I would go to second attempt needed or requested callback. So obviously I've got the same people kind of populated into all these queues since this is a demo account. But in real life, you would have a nicely organized list. So let's talk about how we can organize that list. So the way that you can add into the call queues is either manually. You can do it as a bulk update. So say I wanted to move all these people into another queue. I could hit select all and then bulk update. And I can add them to the call queue. And then if I scroll down, there's a submit option down there. Because I'm on this screencast, unfortunately, the whole screen isn't showing up. So let me just try again. There, you can see the submit button right there. So you've got a lot of options with this bulk update. So just take advantage of that. So here we've got the add to call queue that I mentioned before. So I'll hit submit. Okay, great. So that's one way. The other way is to go into the person's file. And here you can see what call queues they're in. And you can X them out if any ones that you don't need them to be in any longer, or you can add them into the one that you need them to be in. So that's how you do it manually. But the best way is to not have to do it at all. So how we do that is through automated workflows. We'll go to settings. We'll scroll down to automated workflows and click edit. And we'll add a workflow. So this one, let's do that appointment follow-up. And this would be for either leads or clients. So maybe we can do for both of them in case that's the status option for both for you. And that's the trigger. So this section up here, naming it and then deciding how you're going to set it up, this is the trigger. So we'll have it trigger as a status of needs follow-up or appointment follow-up. I guess I don't have appointment follow-up in my status, but let's just do needs follow-up as a status and save that workflow. Now, if I scroll down, I'll be able to add all of these actions in. So I click add action, and I can add as many actions as I want from minute 1 through year 23. The one that we're going to focus on right now is add to call queue. So I'll select that. And so I'll say minute 1, put them into the first attempt or the appointment follow-up. But usually if you've done an appointment and you want them in an appointment follow-up, maybe that would be 1 day later to give them a little bit of time. So if you've changed their status to needs follow-up, probably give it a little bit of time. So that way they don't feel like you're hounding them. So save that action. So that's how you've added to the call queue. You can see that we can also remove from the call queue. So I'll click on this little remove option. So minute 1, I would remove them from the previous queue. So you could also remove from all queues minute 1, or you could do, so say maybe it was like appointment set was your queue or something like that. But let's just do first attempt, or maybe all. Remove from all queues. We'll choose that action. And again, for this follow-up, you can keep on adding actions. So if you have, like if you want to send them an email follow-up and a text message follow-up, you have all these options. We're going to go into that in other of the training tutorials. So I want to skip that for now, but just know that the best way for you to pull things in and out of these call queues is based off of these automations. And that's why it's really important to have your statuses really lined up so that way you can have those be the triggers. So when I say the statuses, I have created a subcategory of leads, clients, client relationships, COIs, archive, even agent recruitment, and whatever you want, personal contacts. So you can, those are considered status option groups. And then under those groups, we have all of these new leads, second attempt, third attempt, interested but wants follow-up, etc. So that way it's very specific where they are in the work process. So that way you can automate better. And that way it's easier, especially if you've got other agents. If this is all set up in your vocabulary, all you need to tell them to do to generate whatever automations you've created is to change the status. So if they call somebody and they drop in the pre-recorded message, the only thing they would have to do otherwise is change the status disposition, and that's it. So this is a very helpful way to automate your whole team. So that just wanted to focus on that for you. Now we covered the call queue progressive dialer, but you'll also notice I'm in the clients now, and you've got this call list with dial queue. So you can also do it based off of a filter. This is also for leads as well. You'll see this call list with dial queue if you've got the voice over IP full plan. So say I wanted to focus on people in a certain county, maybe because there's a flood warning or something like that. So what I could do is I could hit find clients and then sort by county. And then I don't know what counties I have in here, to be quite honest, but let me see if I've got Broward. I think I've used that as an example before. I haven't. But nonetheless, you could search for people by certain counties. Let me see, Bergen. That one might be another one that I would have done. Nope. Okay. So reset filters so I can see everybody again. But regardless, if you have that information in there, let's see, I think I've got Beverly Hills. So if I wanted to search by their city, this will give me a city list. Just to give you an example, Beverly Hills, search now. It'll pull up that list, and I could simply hit call list with dial queue to roll through those calls. Now, usually this is helpful for people who are setting up appointments and driving to their houses. That's not the case right now, but this is still helpful, like especially if you're going to be doing a call list per state, because as this pandemic is evolving, the messaging per the state level will definitely change. So maybe if we have it so that way we're finding all clients within the state of California, and we can call them to discuss their specific needs. So what we would do is hit call list with dial queue, and then start having those phone conversations with them about what their plan offerings are letting them have, and address any concerns that your clients have. You can also target people that are just leads by going to the leads in the same fashion. So again, you could just utilize that filter to search for people in certain states or whatever. And that way you're able to really drill down and talk to the people that are the most relevant to the information you're giving them. Another thing you can do is build a saved report, and you can call directly from the saved report. So if I go here and I build a report that will definitely be covered in another bootcamp day because there are, as you can see, a ton of options. What I would do is I would run the report. Oh, no records were found for that one. Give me a second. Let's see. Run the report. Okay, great. So now we have this all, this report has been run, and now I can call this list with the dial queue again. So same thing, it'll just start rolling through those phone calls. And you notice also that I can skip the next person in the list if I wanted to. If I'm like, ugh, I've talked to Henry 7 times today, I'm going to skip him, and it'll go into the next one. So that's how you can utilize that progressive dialer. Again, if you're only on the basic plan, you can still just hit launch from the dial queue. So you can still pull the report or the filter, and then just click on that phone number. It won't be the same exact experience as the progressive dialer, but you still have that call out option. Okay. Oop, that is my mom. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to cover email marketing, but hopefully this gave you a better idea of how to utilize the dialer functionalities to really work through your lead list. Again, I encourage you to watch the video on the status options because I really feel like that's the greatest way for you to really organize your work process between getting from a new lead to a fully paid up and renewed client. And then from there, build out those automations so that way they're going into those call lists at the appropriate times. So keep us posted as you have more questions, and we will talk soon.